Hello YouTube fans, here again. And someone did me to test. I remember saying no once this because I don't want to get a naughty boy letter from YouTube. But actually just what the fuck? What the fuck? As long as I don't go into too much traffic detail, why not talk about it? And I'm going to be naughty here. That me doing a review on Debbie Does Dyers. Sock horror. That's right, Debbie Does Dyers. The original, the classic 1978 pornographic movie, that being Debbie Does Dyers. Starring the late Bambi Woods as the original star of Debbie. Now, over the years, as we all know, there have been a lot of different edited versions of Debbie Does Dyers. There have been a lot of porn stars take the role of Debbie Does Dyers. But before we had all that, before we had every different version of Debbie Does Dyers, in 1978, there was the hardcore version of Debbie Does Dyers. And it's kind of funny in that era, they did two edited versions, as we know. They do the hardcore and then we have the softer version of Debbie Does Dyers. And believe it or not, this has a lot of history. Has a lot of history because if I remember rightly, it was done by a Maffer family. I'm not making this shit up. The Maffer family had an involvement in Debbie Does Dyers. And the story's very cheesy. It's very, typical 70s porn. It's to do with these cheerleaders, and they've got a mate called Debbie, and she wants to go all the way to Dyers to live a team and to be a team leader in Dyers. So they all get like these little jobs. One's washing cars, Debbie's working in a shop, one's working in a record shop, another's doing such and such a thing, and so on. But then they realise they can make a bit more money by sewing the boobs. And before you know it, they become prostitutes. I'm not going to lie, they become fucking prostitutes. So they can get this, so they can basically go do fucking Dyers. Because it's porn, it's an excuse to sell tits, it's an excuse to sell fucking nudity, and so on. It's like there's a scene in it where they're in a shower. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's porn, so I don't want to get a naughty boy letter. But there's a bit in the shower that's the best use to show tits and nudity. These lads come out of nowhere. They're fucking 16 and 18 in this stool. Then I'm fucking 15 all over again. And then there's a bonking scene. I'm not going to put it in traffic detail because it's hardcore porn. So you really need to know it all in detail what goes on. But I'll just say a bonking scene. I'll leave it to your imagination. Then Bambi Woods is working in the shop cheaper gets a bit, and then they realise can make more than just working in a shop. So this is the bit where they do favours. So I put that in detail. So there's a bit of bonking here and there. The movie does have a lot of history. Like the guy who works in the shop, who by the end of it all has his excitement with Debbie. Well, this actor, believe it or not, was in porn. Right, whether it be the second, the Devil Who Missed Jones, it's been in a lot of porn through the 70s and 80s. And it's only through his later career he ended up in a lot of what they call the cannibal films. You may remember him in Cannibal Holocaust. He appeared the same there, Eaten Alive, and one there after, Cannibal Fairlock. And it's kind of sad, really, because he wanted to break out in the acting career. But, you've been in porn, there goes your fucking acting career. He's played little roles here, little roles there, never that big. And it's the same, really, because even though he's dubbed, I do actually like him in Cannibal Holocaust. I think he really plays a good role in it. And I sort of liked him in Eaten Alive. There's bits where he comes off cocky, but he sort of like comes off like an Indiana Jones, before Indiana Jones, sort of an adventurer sort of character. Cannibal Fairlaw, I wasn't really that mad at his character in that. I could take him or leave him. But, yeah, the other ones, I didn't really mind his character that much. So it's not the same, really. I never really made it big in the acting career. About coughing. But like I say, I do like Bambi Woods. He's natural, you know what I mean? He's got a nice figure on her. He's got a nice ass. He's got a nice pair of tits. She's got a nice everything. There was a lot of history when this film come out, that not that long after Debbie Does Dyers, she strangely went missing and nobody knew whether she was dead or alive. I can end that discussion straight away. There's a good biography, right? There's a good biography called Deep Inside Debbie Does Dyers. And it's BS, that bit, because Bamber Woods did a lot of dirty adult magazines, showing it all. And I think in 1981 she did a sequel, Debbie Does Dyers 2, totally different story. Again, an excuse for bonking. And I think she also appeared in the last of the Debbies with her in it, before they did all the Debbie Does Dyers. Debbie Does Dyers 3, where she's in that as well. And then, like I said, over the years, there have been a lot of different versions of Debbie Does Dyers. And believe it or not, there's even one called Debbie Does the Dishes. I'm not making this shit up. There's Debbie Does the Dishes. Debbie does a lot. I'm surprised, I wouldn't be surprised if there's one called Debbie Goes to fucking Mars. There was even one called Debbie Does fucking Paris at one point. So there's been a lot of Debbies. I mean, I had a Debbie Does 99 with a well-known adult star and so on. But that's why I like Bamber Woods. She was nice, she was pretty in that era, she had a nice body, she had a nice ass. I admit I had a lot of fun watching her, but nevertheless, I like Bamber Woods. And some of the actresses, like I think one of them got hooked on drugs, and sadly to say, she lost her life on drugs. So basically, the porn stars and the porn industry is not a glamorous one. There's a good biography. If you can ever find, a biography called Deep Inside Debbie Does Dyers, check it out. I remember watching it, and it really is a good biography. Now, a lot of the female stars who appeared in Debbie Does Dyers have now changed their career. They're no longer in porn, and they don't really want to talk about Debbie. And I mean, there's do some now in the adult business. Like I think, like there's one lad, and I do remember him in a lot of the adult films, whether it be in the 70s and 80s. And the funny thing is, he still does porn today. No longer a lad, but still does porn today. And yeah, you know, it's a typical 70s porn. You've got typical 70s music. Like I say, there's a bit in the shower. There's a bit where this guy does it with two girls, sort of do it in traffic detail. And at the end, Debbie has a bit of fun with a sock cheap or a bit of bonk in there. That's exciting to watch. So it definitely doesn't fuck around in that. It's definitely hardcore. It's definitely graphic if you get the hardcore version. And I always remember the iconic poster where you got the beautiful girl, artistically drawn. You get the idea it's Bamber Woods, it's Debbie. She's got them choo-choo things. She's a cheerleader. And when you think about it, this sort of inspired a lot of the other sort of films, whether it would be Hots. One year after, there was an adult sort of comedy called Hots. Again, cheerleaders. So when you think about it, Debbie Does Dyers does have a lot of history. It has a lot of seediness, but it was definitely a new lot of the adult films. You decided then that team leaders were nice. You had a lot of team leaders sort of porn. Where so you've got Saturday getting, where you get all girls, the dressed up as team leaders, you've got tits, you've got nudity, you've got bonking, and the list goes on. So yeah, Debbie Does Dyers. It came out in 1978. I just don't believe I'm talking about fucking porno. Of all fucking things, I'm talking about an adult film. But you know, it is what it was. It's a very popular adult film. People even today probably talk about it. There've been a lot of remake sort of versions through the 70s and 80s. There've been a lot of different edited versions of the film. A lot of adult stars star as Debbie long after Bamber Woods, and so on. But that's Debbie Does Dyers from 78. I'm not really going to give it fucking ratings. Okay, you have a bit of fun watching it. After that, the fun goes out the window. It's funny to see some of the dodgy 70s bastard. Like, there's a bit of a cheat, so tops this girl. Let's just say she's giving a guy a bit of excitement, and his punishment is slapping her ass. Bit of that's quite nice. But, you know, it's an adult film. What are you going to go into it for adult films? Bonking, nudity, tits, ass, butts. What else is it? You know what I mean? The story's cheesy. I don't like that word, but I can get away with saying the word. The story is cheesy. And in today's era, the girls are nothing more, nothing less. If you're looking at it in reality, bit weird to me, go in reality land, they become fucking prostitutes. So they make them fuck off to fucking Dyers and be a cheerleader. That's how I see it. But, you know, it is what it was. It's an era of that time. I mean, Bambi Woods was pretty hot in that era. So that's Debbie Duff Dyers. I'm not going to give it points. It's a porno. It was in the 70s. It's a classic. It's popular. So to go on. But into them, be smart, be safe. See you later.